What's up guys, Carl here from FootyTutor, and in today's video I want to talk a little bit about the pros and cons of building an online brand in Barbados. Now in my last video I actually gave a breakdown of what FootyTutor is, what my brand is, and how you can be involved. I'm going to leave a link to that in the description below. But in today's video I want to talk about something that's been very top of mind for me recently, which is environment and the importance of setting the right environment for building. So I wanted to go over and talk about some of the challenges I've had in Barbados and even potentially some of the advantages that starting and building my business here has afforded me. I'm going to start by just jumping straight into the pros. Now, Barbados is an extremely beautiful country, excellent weather all year round. If you're looking for a vacation destination, I would highly recommend it. I personally think Barbados is one of the most beautiful places in the world. Yes, I have that small bias in the sense that I grew up here, but I've also done quite a bit of traveling, and the Barbados experience is one that is very unique in the sense that I think you can get a little bit more of a secluded vibe in some places, but in terms of getting a nice balance of just enough engagement, culture, experiences, as well as the ability to really switch off and recharge, reconnect with yourself, it's an amazing place to be based. So in terms of your general quality of life, I would say it's right up there with any other place in the world. And when I talk about basic infrastructure in terms of your ability to have things like good Wi-Fi, good electricity, clean running water, access to good groceries, maybe a little bit more expensive, amazing place to be based from like a living standards perspective. Another pro, as I kind of mentioned previously, is the ability to get away and reconnect with yourself. And I think as someone who's building, you're going to go through that, I don't know, I like to call it the grind phase, where it's just you and whatever it is that you're building day in, day out. So in terms of your ability to really lock in, focus, get work done, Barbados is a really nice place that I think that even as I continue with my journey, I want to spend 3 to 6 months of the year in Barbados, just really locked in, really building the ability to, spend that 8 hours working, still go see a beautiful sunset, have a nice meal. That's something that I'm not sure can be replicated in many places of the world for 12 months out of the year. I think this is a really good place to segue into potential con, where I mentioned that it is a landlocked country. So in terms of your ability to get access to things quickly, like Amazon next day delivery and that type of stuff, in terms of bringing things into Barbados, it takes a lot of time and is very expensive. So for me, as someone building an online brand where that is most of my presence, but we do have some physical products, I've had to depend on some of my team members based in the United States to get product samples sent out to them so that we could have quick turnaround times. And so if you're going to be delivering something completely digital, I would say it's amazing. If you're going to be doing something a little bit more physical and you aren't going to be traveling to your distributors, you want to get things sent to you, it's honestly not practical. Next con that I want to touch on is the lack of entrepreneur community. I feel like this year for me specifically, one thing that I really want to focus on is getting in and around people who are like-minded, who are building, because in all my time I've been building in Barbados, really since 2020, I haven't really had the ability to connect with many more builders. I would say in Barbados, just the way how the economy is set up, the people who are building, bigger businesses are probably building on top of businesses that their parents passed down or that they bought. So they aren't really going through that grind phase. They already have exit velocity. It's just about managing teams and making sure that they can provide value. And in terms of the people who are building from scratch, I would say that those people are building something a lot closer to a side hustle. So it's not necessarily that they're trying to, build it into a massive organization. It's just something that's self-sustaining. And so really finding that mid-ground of someone who, like me, is building a digital brand that's going to go on to have international scope and international presence. There's not many people who are building things like that, and I know I hear of places, like London just comes to mind, Miami, Austin, Texas, all these places where you can just connect with many like-minded people who are, making content and building their businesses and that type of stuff. There's not a lot of that here on the island in Barbados. And I think for a long part of my journey, I used to look at some of these cons and think, oh, this is, such a caged place to be. I can't really see the growth that I want. But honestly, Barbados isn't built for that. And I'm at a stage now where I realize if that's what I want, I need to go to those places. With all that being said, I am learning more and more that if you do position yourself in the right places, in the right spaces, you can meet some very interesting personalities, whether they just be here on vacation and they're going away. And there are a few people who have exited companies and then have decided to relocate to Barbados because, as I said, the quality of life, especially if you have financial security, is absolutely amazing. The culture of Barbados in general, I would say, is a lot closer akin to what you would find in the UK as opposed to the US. Yes, there is a major US influence, but when it comes to business and when it comes to people adopting new ideas, it's a lot more slow and gradual, very similar to what I have witnessed is happening over in the UK as opposed to the US, where I feel like they're quick to change and people are a lot more open to new things. And I guess that feeds into the success of some of the greatest businesses in Barbados. And I actually had the opportunity to go and tour one of them, and I want to give you a quick breakdown of exactly what that was like and what I learned on that journey. Barbados is known for its rum, and the most famous of them all is Mount Gay. Since 1703, they have been distilling rum at the same location in St. Lucie, Barbados, which makes it the oldest rum distillery in the world. I toured the facility and learned about the rich history of the brand, as well as their bespoke process for rum production. Dedicated to sustainability, all of their ingredients, primarily molasses, water, and yeast, are sourced locally and put through their time-tested process before the alcohol is left to age in the cask barrels, which gives the rum its color and unique taste. Variations in age and combination of the batches leads to the different products that Mount Gay brings to market. I could never dive into all of the details behind this masterclass of a product in one video, but if you are ever in Barbados, I highly recommend taking a tour of the facilities and having the first-hand experience for yourself. An amazing example of a brand started on this beautiful island which has had an international impact and survived the test of time. So naturally, the other area of concern for me is the sporting arena in Barbados. Now, I'd say it's definitely underdeveloped. There's a lot of work to be done here, but that is why I actually started FootyTutor, because I wanted to create resources that can help the next generation of athletes really see the fact that they can, make a living of something out of this. For those who don't know, I have actually represented Barbados at the senior men's level. So I am capped at the international level for the Barbados men's football team. I actually played as recently as last year, and I'm in a stage of my life right now where I realize how important it is for everything that I do to speak to basically the vision that I have for my company and for the change that I want to see. So that means showing up as a player in, the mold of a player that I would like to see come through whatever programs it is that we create, but also adding an in-person element to what we're doing with FootyTutor to have a hands-on impact on really helping athletes to see and get exposure to the things that can really help them to get to the next level. This weekend was actually the opening weekend of the Barbados Premier League, and this is only my second season playing the Premier League because I was actually based overseas in the United States since I was 18 years old. And I'm currently a part of Kickstart FC because I wanted to attach myself to an organization I feel like is trying to really push things forward and do things right from the grassroots level all the way until, university, professional level. The infrastructure is in place, and now it's how can I add to that, how can I build on top of that to really help take the level of football to the next level. In this, our second season, we had our first game against UWE Blackbirds, who are one of the best teams in the country, and we were able to come away with a 1-1 draw. I thought it was a very responsible and mature performance from a team that was only promoted to the top division last season as well. Yes, we did finish third, but I think that we were really running a lot on adrenaline and just that, newcomer blood, that newcomer energy. And now it's to see, can we really settle in and really form a team and potentially build a dynasty. And yeah, without getting ahead of myself, of course, it's going to just be hard work. It's going to be the day in, day out, staying on top of the fundamentals. Over the course of this season, I really want to do a better job of documenting myself as a footballer. Now, even though I have been, sharing a lot of value, I feel like I haven't done an amazing job of just showing my journey. And that's because I'm much more of like a grind in silence type person. I don't believe in the applause for doing the work. It's really just another job. But I am to the point now where I realize that just by sharing my thoughts, just by sharing my journey, sharing my struggles, that can be highly relatable to a lot of other athletes who are probably going through similar things, and they can take away, some value from me just putting myself out there and even showing the fact that as a quite high level amateur / semi-professional, you can still have a lot more facets to your life in terms of like what I'm building outside, all of the social relationships I'm trying to build, all the great experiences I'm trying to have. That's it for this week's video, guys. If you have any questions about anything in Barbados specifically, whether that be from an entrepreneurial perspective, whether that be from a sporting perspective, feel free to leave them down in the comments below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you've watched until this point and you've not subscribed, highly recommend that you do so. And I'm loving the engagement, loving the feedback so far, guys, but most importantly, I'm loving creating these videos on a week-to-week basis. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.